Uh-oh, looks like we lost Dave. There he is.
And
Greetings, everybody. This is Robert Marshall, Alex Powers, and my best good buddy, a good man who goes by the name Dave McCam, joining us tonight. Hope everybody's doing well out there this evening.
I feel a little bit outnumbered. I got two, I don't know what you guys call yourselves, Wacoans?
Wacoans.
Wacoans, I was close. Got two Wacoans.
But not a Wake
That's on the Gardner guy.
Not a Wacoan.
Oh, you're not?
Yeah. Robert said Wacoans. We're not Wacoans. We're Wacoans.
Wacoans. That's a good one. I like that. Well, how you brothers doing tonight?
Quite well. Quite well.
Very, very good. Robert, how about you? How was your day, man?
I had a pretty good day. Pretty standard. I think I said last time on here, the weirdness of the world right now is starting to feel normalized, getting into routines and stuff like that. So, yeah, doing all right.
Well, I know to throw you under the bus a little bit, Waco Wizard. I know you were throwing some heat on bread makers today.
I was what?
I said you were throwing some heat on the bread makers today on Facebook.
There are parties who may or may not be present who seem to take it as heat. I did not mean it as heat. It was an observation of a trend.
Well,
a delicious trend. I'll point out a very delicious trend that I appreciate.
I'll state for the record that I took no offense. And I also defended Robert to those who thought I would take offense. If you haven't hung around Robert enough to know that if he's not teasing you, he probably doesn't like you. So, but Robert likes a good number of people. I haven't met anybody that really Robert doesn't like. So he shakes his head no, but he's got the biggest heart.
Well, he's definitely been around enough. Seems like everyone everywhere knows my boy Robert. So, but on the topic of bread, it's our guest this evening that's actually got me doing some alchemy in a jar. So I don't know about the tastiness yet. We'll have to determine that. I think I'm at the point where we're going to be able to give that a shot tomorrow. So we'll see how it goes. Anyone in the comments out there, let us know if you've joined in on this. I don't know, we want to call it a bread making cabal.
Yeah. Definitely modern day alchemy for sure.
It's interesting, man. It's I think the really neat thing about this whole quarantine is it's taken people's mind frame back to a simpler time of life in a lot of ways. Stuff that we take for granted and we're just hustling, bustling. It's like, oh, let's stop and do this for a minute. And it's stuff that's been going on for so many years, but we've just kind of tossed it out the window until we get a little bit of reality check to slow down life around us.
Yeah, it's very true. Very true.
What do you think, Robert? You going to get in on the train?
On what?
On making some bread, man.
Oh, I've made bread before. I don't think I'm going to be getting into it in the immediate future, but I'm sure I'll make some bread again someday. My fiance's made some recently. She made a cranberry nut white chocolate bread this weekend, and she made a plainer sourdough last week.
Nice. And you said a cranberry and what now?
It's got cranberry nuts and white chocolate chips in it.
That sounds pretty good.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Nice. Well, let's see who we got on here commenting so far. Got some regulars. Got brother Justin Staley, my wife, of course. Justin's wife, Brittany's on here. Brother Patrick Carr, good to see you, my brother. Michael Brewer, hey, brother. Tom McGuire says the terrible two.
Tom McGuire?
Yeah.
He made my pin holders.
That's right.
I don't know if you can see them or not.
And my glass.
Oh, he made that glass there?
He did.
Nice. Let's see. We got Brother Ray, Brother Brian Grove, Brother Scott Sherman, Brother Bratson, and of course, most worshipful Tony Borm's on here as well. Very good to see all of you brothers this evening. Thanks so much for continuing to join in with us. Yeah, that's the classic pen holder. I love that thing, man. That's good stuff.
I should work for QVC, I think.
Well, what are you brothers toasting with this evening? Brother Dave, what you got?
I have something from, I have a beer from, since today is National Beer Day.
Is it?
It is. So I have a beer from Thirsty Planet, a brewery in Austin called the Thirsty Goat in honor of our Masonic gathering. So
Which goat is that?
It's the thirstiest goat.
I don't remember. I know I've had a Thirsty Goat. Is Thirsty Goat the name of the beer or the brewery?
The beer. The name of the brewery is Thirsty Planet. Yeah, in Austin.
I've had that once, and I don't even remember where I was, but it's a really good beer.
Yeah, it's good. It's good. Tasty. How about you guys?
Did you get that at HEB?
Yes, I did. Yeah, HEB.
I'm gonna go looking for that sucker tomorrow. What do you got, Alex?
I'm still working through some of that Gentleman's Collection wine, that dark red. Pretty good stuff.
Well, don't worry. There's good news, Alex, because
What's that?
the Postal Service is still in order, and I'm going to mail you a couple of nipples.
I'll be on the lookout. I'll be waiting at the mailbox for that.
So I've got myself a Moscow Mule in the traditional copper mug made with Crystal Head vodka, which was distilled and then filtered 7 times, 3 times through Herkimer diamonds.
Wow. Now, so this is a safe mug that you're drinking out of this time, right?
It's a what?
It's a safe mug that you're drinking out of this time.
You know, that's actually funny. It's up for debate. So there was a big scare with doctors around 5 to 10 years ago. So the copper mug was actually, well, even the Moscow Mule, they have nothing to do with Russia. It was invented in Los Angeles in a bar in, I think, the 1920s or 30s. And the best going theory is that the bar had a bunch of ginger beer that was not selling. So either the owner or the bartender just invented the Moscow Mule as a drink, and they also had a bunch of copper mugs on hand, and so turned it into a thing, and now it's a worldwide known drink. But somewhere around 5 to 10 years ago, there was a big health scare where some doctors were saying, oh, you're going to have copper poisoning if you keep drinking alcohol out of that. And, like most health scares, when they start telling you something's poisonous, over 6 months or so, it started coming back out. Well, actually, you'd have to have like 3 of these every day for the next 25 years to be at risk of copper poisoning. So this one's safe, but my pewter mug is still being modified to drink out of it. Dave saw the experiment on the pewter mug. He saw the way that thing responded to a lead test, and
well, that's exactly why I brought it up.
Lead poisoning just by looking at it.
That's exactly why I brought it up. And then you had just recently, you had that other pewter mug. We asked you about that. You're like, oh man, I didn't even think.
I don't even remember that pewter mug, so I guess I did get poisoning.
Well, no, I was talking about the pewter mug that you. Oh no, I guess this other one that you just said was pewter. It was during one of our lives early on.
These things are all starting to blur together for me. See, I used to drink about 1 or 2 nights a month, and now we're having drinks every night, and yeah.
Yeah, you know, I'm sorry about that. It's got to be the guy that rarely ever drinks to start with to make everyone alcoholic. So it wasn't the intent, but it happens, right?
It happens. It happens.
Well, we were generous, or not generous, we were lucky enough to have Brother Dave agree to come on here this evening. As you all know, we asked a few nights ago if anyone wants to join us to give a guest toast, that we're more than happy to have you on. Brother Dave offered to come on and give a guest host, and I think he even has something to share with us this evening. So we try to keep this with a little bit of historical value each evening and go into our traditional 9 o'clock toast. So, Brother Dave, what you got?
All right, so I'm not the historian of the group, right? We lean on Robert pretty much for the historical duties, but I got a couple of things for you.
Sorry about that.
It's all right.
I'll mute myself. There's a train going by.
Can you just stop all the trains during these broadcasts, please?
I love it. One of these days he's gonna hop on.
That would be awesome. I don't doubt it either. Just get that awesome selfie shot going down the track.
So I've been, I don't know if you guys have been, I've been kind of missing being around the lodge a little, quite a bit actually, and getting to hang out with all the brethren and mainly getting to talk to Robert. And so I was, just sitting here at my desk today, and I looked over and this made me feel a little less lodge sick. You getting that? Look at this guy here.
Is that a voodoo doll of Robert?
Where the hell did you get that thing?
I think so. Well, a coworker made it for me because she said it reminded her of me, but it kind of reminds me of Robert. So I've got my Robert.
Hold on, I'll mine. That's so funny.
And so I was sitting around today just bouncing ideas off of this guy, Masonic ideas off of this guy, and he likes all my ideas. So there, Robert. Anytime you say you don't like one of my ideas, I'm going to go back to that guy.
That's fantastic. I'm guessing Robert has a matching one or something. He just jumped up. Oh, here we go.
I'm waiting to see.
It's just like a Baylor gnome.
Baylor gnome.
That would be a good point for us to point out that we actually have an entire episode of Historical Light. We do these toasts right now on a nightly basis. They're kind of like miniature versions of Historical Light. But the full-length episodes are anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half. And we did one with Brother Geege Wiles, who has a Brad Billings-sized gnome that he carries with him all over the world and has an amazing story. It came from his World War II veteran grandfather in the U.S. Navy. So
it's fantastic.
Really cool.
Well, my brothers, we are upon the hour of 9 p.m. and we do have at least 3 past Grandmasters joining in this evening, including Most Worshipful Yancey Smith of South Dakota and our most recent past Grandmaster, Most Worshipful Dale Morrow, as well as Most Worshipful Kellerman, and our current Grandmaster, Most Worshipful Tony Borm. So Dave, no pressure.
Okay.
If you give us our toast this evening.
Here we go. One to the brethren, one to the fallen, and one to those who are coming home. Cheers, bros.
Cheers, brothers. Well spoken, my brother. We got Brother Maddox on here. He's been joining us every night. He's saying Historical Light is turning us into heavy drinkers.
Yeah, blame us.
Yeah, not the intent. We definitely wanted to jump on and get everyone together with the traditional toast, and just in the fashion of Historical Light, take a few minutes to offer up some history each night. So for those of you that might just be joining us for the first time this evening, our venture here is to do this every night during the quarantine moving forward. So we'll be joining at 8:45, going live here on Facebook through the Historical Light page, getting that shared out to some of the big groups. And we'll share a little bit of history, do some chatting, and then do our traditional toast at 9 p.m. So I want to thank all of you for continuing to join us.
Alex?
Yeah, brother, what's up?
Hey, would you mind if I played with our format a little bit here, if you guys got a couple more minutes?
I certainly do, yeah.
Last week sometime I read a portion of this booklet that the Grand Lodge put out in the 1930s, and I thought I'd finish it.
Oh yeah, by all means, let's do it.
Okay. Dave, are you good on time?
Doing good.
Sweet. So for those who didn't catch the earlier one, this will be the second portion of a booklet put out by the Grand Lodge Committee on Education and Service for Texas in the 1930s. and it's titled "What a Petitioner for Degrees in Masonry Should Know." The first half was pretty interesting. We got a lot of different kinds of responses to it. I'll go ahead and read the second one now. This is kind of the conclusion of the booklet. For a final exhortation, it must be impressed on the initiate how much depends on himself. It is, of course, the duty of his proposer and seconder to be his guides, counselors, and friends in his Masonic progress, but he must work for himself if he is to advance in knowledge. The ritual, with its depth of meaning and suggestion, is worthy of his closest study in daily life. And the true Freemason should be a better man, a firmer friend, a more charitable adversary, a more discreet confidant, a warmer-hearted sympathizer with sorrow and need, and, in the best and broadest sense, a more deeply religious man for his connection with our order. He should be prompt and diligent in attendance at all meetings when he can be so, without detriment to his family or his profession. And when there, he should be friendly and courteous to all, offering obedience and honor where they are due, and for his own part, preserving the dignity of self-respect, which will prevent him lowering himself by lack of regard for the feelings of any he may consider beneath him. At the festive board, he should practice self-restraint, and whilst thoroughly enjoying himself, never in any way cooperate in allowing the feast to degenerate into a revel. That's right. In the Grand Lodge of Texas in the 1930s, we actually had an admonition to thoroughly enjoy ourselves at festive boards. Imagine that, fellas. When outside of the lodge, he should be particularly careful never to talk of Masonic matters in public or private places where non-Masons are present. He should not speak to outsiders of Masonry or anything connected with it, for Masonry, like wisdom, doth not cry, doth not lift up her voice in the streets. It should be sought and found, not advertised, and not offered indiscriminately. Masonry properly used will be a resource and a delight to him in many ways throughout his life. Some of one's greatest friends have been made in lodge. Dave here is proof tonight for me. And when traveling, many delightful hours may be spent with brethren of our own or other countries or states. And in that case, Alex is proof for me tonight, who are ever ready to extend the right hand of fellowship to those who bring proper credentials and can prove themselves. I don't know if either of you can prove yourself. For the student, there is research. For the mystic, there is elaborate symbolism. For the socially inclined, there is companionship. Whilst for those tired of the conflict of creed or politics, there is the common altar of the great architect of the universe, before which they meet, forgetting, or at any rate ignoring, all differences, and there find themselves at once in the fatherhood of God and the brotherhood of man. If you want a copy of this, shoot me a message and I will make sure you get a copy of it.
That's really cool stuff, man. I really like that. And I'm still waiting on my copy of it. I can't wait to get that. So what year did you say that came out again?
So it's actually not listed here, but I used some of the other ones. There's actually, that I know of, at least 30 different booklets like this. So this one's just for petitioners who are interested in Masonry. Sure. But there's other ones. Today in Texas, we had the Lodge system of candidate information that guys are required to study as they advance through the degrees. And those are actually based on some of these early booklets, but those were only 3 or 4 out of the series of at least 30 that addressed all kinds of things. There's one on Freemasonry and Native Americans. There's one on the different liberal arts and sciences, all kinds of subjects. And they came out from about 1920 to 1940 or so.
That's fantastic. Yeah, I can't wait to get that. That's an awesome piece you got there.
Well, when you order Busy Brew Coffee, you'll get a booklet.
There you go.
There you
Shameless
go.
plug. Shameless plug. It's good stuff. All right, brothers. With that, we really appreciate all of you joining in tonight. We hope to see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay safe, stay well, keep saving history. We'll see you right here tomorrow at 8:45. Take care, everybody.